Hello, everybody. I'm still alive. I don't know how long it has been since I've made a video. I've really wanted to make one for a very long time, but there's really no good reason. So, well, I guess there are some good reasons. We have been doing major remodeling projects in our house. So I was out of my house living at my parents' for 10 days. We got our hardwood floors refinished. We refinished our bathroom. Hi, sweetheart.
Let's go.
You might have some Daniel Tiger in the background. Anyway, just lots of projects going on in the house that we've been saving up for, and it's just really awesome. So if you would like to see a tour of all of the things that we've been doing, things are still kind of a mess, as you can see, but it's coming together. So I am 21 weeks pregnant. Yay! And I am feeling so good. I think it really took me until about probably about 17 weeks, in between 17 and 18 weeks is when I finally felt like I hit my stride, that I was past that major exhaustion. I cannot, like, looking back, I cannot believe how depressed I was for that whole first trimester, and just not feeling well, being so sick, having the summer be so hot and not being able to like go outside. It was rough. I'm really glad that I've made it this far. So I have implemented quite a few things this pregnancy that I know has really helped. I do yoga. Yes. I do yoga every day, and I do my physical therapy exercises every day, and I honestly feel better now than I did before I even got pregnant. And the biggest holdup for me about wanting to have a third baby was for fear that I would end up in a wheelchair for the rest of my life, which does happen to some people who get, well, probably some other issues, but maybe not for the rest of their life. But people do end up in wheelchairs if they have the pubic symphysis dysfunction, which I have had with both pregnancies, really, really bad. In addition to some other ligament stuff that has gone wrong and sciatic nerve pain. But I'm able to walk. I easily walked 2 miles last weekend. When I was out of town, I walked like 5 of the 10 days, like exercise style walk. I've taken my kids to the corn maze and pushed a stroller around like the pumpkin patch, and I feel great, and I'm so grateful for that. Honestly, that was my biggest concern over having another baby, was how am I going to do this if my pelvis like separates and I end up super sick. So I feel a lot better than I look right now, but there's just no good time for me to film a video. I have kids on me and with me 24/7. I just don't have that time to do things without my kids, and so that's kind of why I don't make videos, is because I feel like I've started to make videos and I'm just like attacked by my children, or they're napping and I'm afraid to make noise. So anyway, that's the update. I'm feeling great. Weight-wise, I've gained a total of 8 pounds this pregnancy, which is actually more than I wanted. But I will say that being out of town for basically 2 weeks, not having a kitchen in the beginning when we got back, just led to not so great choices. But now that I'm back home, I'm feeling better. My doctor told me that I could actually try to lose some weight. So that's what I'm going to be working on now that I'm feeling good. I'm doing my yoga, and now it's just like high focus in on my diet, because I actually feel like I can do that. So, oh, hey, sweetheart. So that's just a little update. I have so many updates on like eating and intuitive eating. Hi, bud. How are you feeling?
Happy.
You're super happy. Which I was going to talk about in this one, but mom life is calling, but maybe not. Anyway, I'll just make a whole other video. I have not been dieting or tracking or counting up until this point. I have for like a couple days, and then I'll stop. A couple days, then I'll stop. And you know, I guess maybe I get to talk a little bit longer. But I remember, gosh, it's been well over 10. I mean, maybe like 15 years ago. Oh my gosh, I'm getting old. No, I was probably like 25, so like 10 years ago. I read the book Intuitive Eating, and I went to the conference, and I actually worked with a health education person in college to work on intuitive eating. And the whole thing is like, get out of the diet mentality. If you're not familiar with it, there's loads of information. There's also loads of like people who love it and hate it. So since I struggle with food addiction and overeating, I've always been like, nope, that's not for me. All it does is give me permission to eat whatever I want, and then I'm going to binge. And I have always been very, 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 very anti-intuitive eating. Just with my personal history, not saying that it's a terrible idea, but, you know, I read the book. I worked with a nutrition, like a health educator, for an entire semester at college, and I put on 15 pounds during that time. And yeah, I also worked at a cinnamon roll shop, and I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna eat the cinnamon rolls now. Anyway, so with this pregnancy, I have just let go of trying to diet and trying to be anything. Trying to be low carb, trying to be plant-based, trying to be Weight Watchers, portion control. And the amazing thing that has happened over the last, what am I, 5 months pregnant? 5 months, is that I have had one mini binge that I actually stopped in the middle of and walked outside. And it was after a very, very, very triggering conversation with my siblings. We talked about some things that typically always trigger me, and I started binging. But in 5 months, like, that's kind of miraculous for me. And yes, I had morning sickness and did not feel like eating. But even in that time now that I've been back, like, it's like I don't know. I feel like I've just changed so much. Like, the desire to overeat on anything, honestly, is gone. Because I'm like, well, what's the point? Why would I do that to feel uncomfortable? I don't want to feel full. Like, I hate that feeling of feeling full and stuffed. And so I just have naturally, over the last 5 months, figured out how to eat, when to stop. The other thing that's been super interesting is that I've learned that I like certain foods and I don't like other certain foods. Like, oh, I actually have preferences, whereas before it was just like, I love all foods in all forms, you know. But now I'm like, I don't really like that, or those cookies aren't really the best. And, you know, sometimes you see people who have reached like lifetime and they're like, oh, well, I only want to, you know, I'm only going to eat this pizza if it's like super delicious, or I'm only going to eat this dessert if it's like super good because it's not worth the calories. And I'm like, well, anything that tastes like pizza or sweets to me is worth eating. And now I'm like, no, it's really not. Like, if it's not really good, I don't really want to eat it. And this is like a complete evolution for me. And I can't really describe how it happened, but it has been a process. And I'm not saying that I won't ever go on a program to like lose weight, because I think that there has to be an element of restriction. But also realizing that I prefer healthy foods. I prefer whole foods. I prefer fruits and vegetables. I prefer my yogurt, nuts, little granola. I prefer homemade food as opposed to fast food. I used to think that I like had this love of fast food, and I'm like, no, I think I just had a love of convenience. Well, I mean, so, who doesn't love a French fry? But it was like a treat. Oh, here you go. There you go. But it's been really freeing to just like let go of this fear of like, okay, well, I have to eat as much as I possibly can in this meal because tomorrow my diet starts. Or, you know, well, I've already fallen off the wagon, so I may as well like blow it for the rest of the day because things start tomorrow. Like, that mentality has left me, and I am so grateful for that. Yeah, I'm super grateful for that. It doesn't mean that I'm eating in some like beautiful, uber healthy way all the time, but I am not struggling with the overeating, and that is huge. I'm not struggling with the binging, and that is huge for me. So I'm feeling really good about that as well. Like I really strongly have considered weight loss surgery more than once. I have attended seminars. I have made appointments. I have filled out paperwork more than once. And something inside of me just kept saying, no matter what you do, until you learn when to stop eating, nothing is going to save you. Doesn't matter whatever diet you're doing. Like, I can overeat on any diet. Trust me, I can. Low carb, keto, Weight Watchers, vegan, juicing. I can overeat on anything. And it's just something has been broken between this stop when you're full for me. And I kind of had this like awakening, like no matter what I do, sorry, the sun is coming up, so now my face is getting like sitting in front of my window. Anyway, so to finally feel like after 5 months of practicing this, like, oh, well, yeah, I'm full now. I'm just going to stop. And if I want more, when I feel hungry again, I'm going to go. Like last night, I went to a dinner with my husband, and it was put on, anyway, doesn't matter. And I didn't think that the food was good. So I didn't eat it. And I left basically a full plate. I ate the salad, and I ate the dinner roll. And I thought that the meat was dry and disgusting, and I didn't want the mashed potatoes. And the dessert wasn't that great, so I didn't eat it. And I didn't want to feel full, because I wasn't really that hungry going into it, because we'd had a late lunch. So those things might not sound very significant for anybody who hasn't struggled with food addiction and binge eating, but to me, it's like huge milestones. So as I try to focus in on my diet, since I gained a little bit more weight for my last appointment, I gained 5.4 pounds in 5 weeks. And during those 5 weeks was when I was out of town. It was my birthday week, and then we didn't have a kitchen for part of that. So it was just very, very crazy, not really a good routine. So when I'm saying I'm going to focus more on my diet, it's just really tapping into that hunger, fullness, healthy choices, that sort of thing. I've thrown away so much food that normally I would have been like, well, I'm not throwing that away because I'm going to eat it. I don't know. I just feel really empowered to just listen to my body more, which you might say is intuitive eating, you might say not. I don't know. But that's what I'm doing. The sun is like, if I sit up right here, hi, I don't think you can see me at all. So that is where I'm at. I am going to start posting more home videos because, I can only do so many pregnancy updates. And otherwise it's boring. It's like, oh, she's still pregnant. Oh, she's gained 5 pounds. Oh, she's feeling good. Before it's just going to get so boring and you guys are going to be so sick of looking at my face. So I'm just going to post whatever I want between now and when I have this baby. And then, of course, I'll be hitting the grindstone again after the baby comes. So thank you so much for watching, if you're still watching. And I will see you next time.